Let me show you how I built this plant stand. I started by making a template out of 1/4" MDF. I used double stick tape to overhang my piece of MDF on a piece of scrap wood and then ran it on my table saw to do my tapered cuts. I did that on top and bottom, but I left a flat spot where the stretchers would meet. Now that I had my template, I used that to trace onto the actual wood that I was going to make it out of and cut that out with the jigsaw. I got nice and close to the Sharpie line with my jigsaw, but then I used the flush trim bit on my router to clean everything up and make them perfect. Next up was making the stretchers, and I wanted to have a half lap where they meet. To get the half lap perfect, I just keep raising the blade on a piece of scrap wood until it's barely anything left. Once you know that it's the right height, then I went in and made the actual half laps on my real pieces. To connect everything together, I'm using dowels, so I did 2 dowels on all of the joint faces. After the dowels were drilled, it was ready to glue everything up. Once it was all dry, I took it over to my router table and gave everything a round over. I wanted it to have a pretty, aggressive round over to give it kind of a mid-century vibe with a really kind of spindly look. You'll also notice that I skipped the middle. That's where my half laps meet, and I wanted to make sure there was a flat face. If you have roundovers where they meet, it just ends up being a really ugly joint. Then, as always, the most tedious part of sanding. After it was all done being sanded, I glued the half laps in place so that it would be nice and strong. Now that everything is assembled, we're really in the final stretch. So it was just doing a stain for color, and then I followed it all up with a few coats of spray lacquer. And here she is. Let me know what you think.